Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're in week 6 for Defy Aging, and I am Coach Allison. And let's see what we got this week. So, we're going to go back to a standard circuit on the turf space, rotating around. We have 3 rounds of that, 7 exercises, and each round is going to be timed just a little bit differently. So, your rest is going to remain the same for all rounds. You're going to stick with a 30-second rest. Round one is going to be 20 seconds. I always have to have my little sheet here. 20 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest for round one. Then we're going to increase the work to 25 seconds of work, still 30 seconds of rest for round two. And then we're going to end with 30 seconds of work and 30 seconds of rest for round three. So your work is going to increase by 5 seconds each round. So you can certainly handle that. But yeah, again, 7 exercises. So we have 7 demonstrations to get through. Let's go through that. And of course, we do have that little team builder at the end. So the first station is going to be a stability ball, which is this, with an overhead press. You're going to actually be doing your press on the ball. Be a little tricky though to get situated, to get started. So you can either kind of hold your weights in your arms like this while you sit on the ball, or you can have the weights kind of down in front of the ball and sit on it first and then reach down and pick them up. So just be sort of ready for how you want to get situated. So that is a little trickier with this. But we're just going to have a seat on the ball. Already, that's just forcing a little bit of core engagement. And then from here, it's a standard overhead press. And you'll feel this right away when you do this, the core engagement here, doing a seated version of an overhead press plus seated on the ball because it's wobbly. It's not a regular bench that's sturdy. So that is station one, stability ball, overhead press. Maybe consider going one weight down from your standard press that we would be doing standing, just because it is going to be surprising that it's a little tougher. But that's up to you. Second station is a wall sit. Actually, I don't toss these into the routines too often, typically more so in the team builders. But oh, I was farther away than I thought. Wall sit. So it's kind of like an isometric or a folding squat. So you'll start to step your feet out like I just did. And as you do that, you kind of also sink down the wall. Start maybe a little higher just to test the ladders a little bit, because the lower you go, the harder it is to hold it. So like if I'm gonna, the lowest you want to go is thighs parallel to the floor. So this is about as low as you would want to go. So meaning we're not going to come like down here. That's so don't go past that parallel point. Uh, a couple things to keep in mind. Don't step out so far that you're kind of just like your legs are almost straight and you're just leaning against the wall because then we're not engaging the thighs and the leg muscles. We do want to have a 90-degree bend in the knees about. If you're staying up higher, then it won't be quite 90, but you do need a bend in the knees. So we're not doing this. Make sure your feet are out far enough that your feet aren't behind your knees like this. So if your feet are behind your knees, that's putting a lot of pressure on your knee and your kneecap. It's not very safe and healthy for the knees. So we want to avoid that. So think of foot and ankle being directly straight down from your knee, so directly underneath. And from there, you just make, and your back's always against the wall, so we're not coming forward like this. Okay. And you just, the lower you can stand to hold it, the harder it is, the harder you're going to be working, the better. So I like to get out of it like this, kind of lean forward and push myself. But you can get out of that however you see fit. All right. That is our wall sit station. It's kind of like a plank for your legs because you're just holding it still. Let's see how you do. Next station, half kneel medicine ball slam. Okay, we got our slam ball. Gonna come into our very common half kneel position. And we just do adjust. Didn't mean to toss that word in so casually because it's not easy. But all I meant by that is we know the standard medicine ball slam. We do that medicine ball slam kind of in that open space here. So your body will be angled a little. Okay, here we go. Not much more to say about that. As far as sides, though, I don't want to, since our sets are kind of short, 20 and 25 seconds, I don't want to worry about switching sides like this halfway through. We're going to lose a lot of time. I'm going to recommend we do round one on one side, round two on the other side, and round three, just pick what side you want to do. It's not it's not the end of the world if we do an extra set on one side. Because this exercise is more for the cardio and stability. It's not like a bicep curl where we're isolating, strengthening on a certain muscle group or anything. So it's not a big deal. Oh yes, sorry for anyone not um, doing our kneeling exercises. All we're gonna do is take it up to still a staggered position. So like if this was my half kneel, this would be the equivalent of a staggered stance, and still do the medicine ball slam in that staggered stance. So it's still a lot of stability because with a staggered stance, you're a little less sturdy. So I think it'll be a great alternative. Forgot to toss that in earlier. But anyway, that's our more of our cardio station for this circuit. All right, standard floor press. We haven't had this in a while. So let's go back to it. Chest press on the floor. Definitely recommend grabbing your weights like this before you lie back. Am I going to be in the frame here? Okay. And then kind of lie back with them. And then they're here ready to go. What you don't want to do is have them on the floor, then lie down. And then you have to like, eh, and pick them up like that. Because that's not great on your forearm, your elbow, or your shoulder to pick up weights like that. So that's just a little shoulder safety for you. Okay, and as I'm going to do it, so I'm doing it now. But just don't. If you do it once, it's probably fine. Anyway, okay. So elbows are slight. See how my elbows is kind of angled downward. It's not like perfectly straight out. That's what we want. We want that little kind of dip downward, downward. That's a good angle. We don't want the elbows straight out to the side like this. That's not a great angle on shoulders. So kind of dip them down. And from here, press the weights up, lower them all the way back down to the floor. There you go. That's our chest press. And as you can you see, they do kind of drift slightly inward. Don't bring them all the way in so that they touch like this, but they drift in just a little and they go back out on the way down. Up and in, down and out. It should just go naturally. That should be just the flow of how they move. But don't overthink that. So, and then to put them down, this is more shoulder safety, put them down like this. The bottom, this bell should just go right to the floor. If they tip, that's fine, doesn't matter. But that's just the safest way to put them down. If you put them down like this, like a bicep curl, that's going to create a little too much pulling and yanking on the shoulder and the arm. So put them down that first way I showed you. And anybody staying off the floor for any of our exercises, I'm going to have the coaches have an incline bench. So you're kind of like reclined back. And you can do that exact same exercise on the incline bench. Or if we don't have enough or something, you can also take a band and do a standing band press. And the coaches will know exactly what I'm talking about, and they'll have you all set up and ready. But there's a lot of alternatives, so we've got you covered. All right, we're going to toss in reverse lunges. I think it's been a few weeks since we've done those. So you stand stationary to start, and we reverse lunge back as opposed to a forward walking lunge. So big step back, that's important. If it's too small, the mechanics don't work out right. So already the big step shows you that reverse lunges have a lot of balance involved. So big step back, and we bend both knees as low as you're able. That was pretty low, so low as you're able, and up and back together. Alternate legs, big step back, bend both knees, up and together. Very important the back foot stays straight and doesn't turn and angle out to the side. Watch my back foot here. So see how it's staying straight? It's not doing this. We'll see how when I let it turn out like that, it throws off like the way my knee wants to bend, and that's gonna then throw off. I'm gonna make my knee kind of internally do this, and then that's gonna throw off my hip, and it feels yucky. So our body wants to do that because having a wider foot makes our balance feel easier. So that's why our body wants to do that, but don't let it. So keep that back foot straight. If you need a wall for balance, fine. We just alternate legs each rep. Now, in the template and in the workout routine, I have goblet reverse lunge written down. That it is a progression, so it's of course optional for those of our participants who have mastered reverse lunges. We're going to add a progression option for you if you're ready. So you hold a kettlebell at your chest, goblet style, and that adds just adds some weight, and it takes away your hands, so you don't have them to hold on to something for balance. Make sure you're not leaning forward with lunges, so we're not doing this. So you keep that chest tall. So standard reverse lunge with no weight. If you're ready for the progression, we're going to do a goblet reverse lunge this week. Okay, next one is a bird dog band row. It's kind of a lot going on here. Standard bird dog has it's kind of an isometric bird dog, so holding bird dog, and then we add the back row to it. So I'll show you what, of course, that looks like. So we got a band anchored up in front. Some gyms have the cable machines on the turf. You can do this with a cable machine too. Your coach will know what that means. So starting hands and knees like a normal bird dog, the hand with the weight, or the side with the weight, the opposite leg is going to be lifting. If you can think of with regular bird dog, opposite arms and legs, opposite arm and leg is moving. So it's same here. So my arm is straight with the cable or with the band. My opposite leg is up. So my right arm, my left leg. Now I'm gonna hold this leg here, my left leg. I'm gonna hold that, but I'm gonna do a row with this arm that has the band. So I'm holding this leg still in the air, and this is the row component. Now, if this was a little too light for me, I would just inch back to make a little more tension on the band. You want to keep a neutral neck. So notice how I'm kind of looking down, and I'm going to hold that head and neck position. So I'm not going to be looking forward like this. We don't want to create that kink in the neck. So I'm going to look down. And yeah, okay. I know you couldn't see. I should have moved back forward so you could see how I'm holding my body still. I think you get the gist. Palm in. You see how my palms turned inward, not down like this. Palm turned in. There we go. I think it'll work just fine. Anyone staying off the floor. We can do an incline just fine to raise up your band or your cable just a little bit higher. But it should work just the same. Have your knee on the platform or the platform, the bench or whatever you're using, and still you're just not lifting the back leg up. Actually, will that work? Why would I think that? That was dumb. I was thinking of a back row. I'm dumb. I'm not redoing this video clip, so I'm leaving that in there and I'm correcting myself. And you still will lift that back leg up because we need the balance component in there. I was thinking of a back row. Yeah, this works just fine. So there, works just fine, not being on the floor. Now, you might be thinking, what do we do for anyone not getting on the floor, or sorry, for switching sides? Unlike the medicine ball slam, no, this one is kind of focusing on muscle, like strength training and targeting muscles, whereas the medicine ball slam is more cardio. So I think, this is just my opinion, round one, we'll do one side, round two, we'll do the other side, and then round three is our nice 30-second set. And that's easy to split and it's a little bit longer. So I think round three for this station, we can switch sides halfway through. So we'll try that. So round one side, round two, other side, even though there's 5 seconds different, but our body is going to be fine getting 5 seconds extra on one side. And then round three, we will switch sides halfway through. We'll give that a try. Okay. So this was slightly disorganized demo for this one, but I think we got the gist. And I think this is going to be a really fun exercise. Final station. I always say that, but everyone starts at a different one. So final one in the list, let's say. Tandem walk. Haven't done this for a while. Okay, this is a heel toe or straight line walk. Trying to walk, going heel to toe like this. Don't worry about speed. Go at whatever speed you need. Actually, I mean, we want it to be on the slower side, so don't try to go fast. But um, you actually do, looking at the side, you actually do want to touch the heel to the toe. What I mean by that is we don't want to leave a lot of space like this. Um, the reason being because if you leave more space, that's easier for your balance. So once again, the mind and body might be tempting to want to leave a little space between your feet because it's easier on the balance. But the point here is to challenge the balance, um, and make less space there. So do let the heel touch right up to the toe. It's okay to gaze your eyes down to look at your feet. Totally fine. That's usually where we start with this. If it's new for you, see how my head is just kind of looking down in my eyes. What you don't want to do though is like look down at your feet like this, where you're slouching and hunching over and sort of sacrificing that posture. So, okay to use your eyeballs in your head to look down, but don't do this. Next progression though, you want to work towards looking straight ahead. So, we want to work towards not needing to look at the feet and being able to successfully do this looking straight ahead. So, that's the next progression. You can definitely do this along a wall or near the racks to kind of gently keep your hand on while you're doing this, especially if it's new, because it is really challenging. It's very, very challenging, especially when it's brand new to you. Um, the next progression, after you've mastered it looking straight ahead, is doing it while looking around. So kind of looking around the room. See, I'm already struggling more. I'm looking around, looking up, over. And the final progression is doing it with your eyes closed, which is significantly challenging, more challenging, because our sight is very connected to our balance. So anyway, that's our final station. Okay, good luck with that one. Have fun. And it gets better the more you practice it. Team builder, partner hand clap. So if there's not an even number in your session, your coach can jump in. Try to pick someone at like the same, I don't want to say level, but like the same, like if you know someone else, if you need a knee plank, typically, and you know someone else always does a knee plank, something like that, because you are going to be in a plank. I shouldn't say knee plank, an incline plank. If two people need an incline plank, that's helpful. Um, that's all. Yeah, a knee plank versus a toe plank doesn't really matter. We're going to do a high plank, so that means hands instead of forearms. You're going to be face to face with your partner. So you would be like my partner. We're facing one another. I definitely recommend wide foot placement like this. Ugh, can you tell? Yeah, like this instead of like this, because we're going to be picking up one hand at a time. Wider foot placement will kind of give you a wider base of stability. So you're not going to feel as tippy. Okay. And for 30 seconds, we're going to time it. And you're going to clap hands like this across with your partner. So you both clap the right hand, both clap your left hands. Count how many you get. 1, 2, 3. When you lift one hand up, try to minimize twisting and tilting as much as you can. You're going to do it a little bit. It's impossible to not do it at all, but try not to see how much I'm turning and twisting, but try to keep it as minimal as possible. Do it totally fine to do this on knees. I went down to my elbows. So it would look like this. Same exact. So you could definitely be across from someone who's on their toes and you can be on knees. Totally fine. But if two people are on an incline, it's best to have those people, of course, together. Um, so, like I would be on my incline bench here, my partner would be on their incline bench here. So you're still at the same level. So that's why I said if two people are using inclines, it's best for them to be together. But yeah, so 30 seconds, see how many you can get. See how fast you can get going, work with each other, and that'll be our partner team builder for the end. All right, everybody. So that is week 6. Hope these are some new moves for some of you. Hope you enjoy this workout, and I'll see you back next week.